Stan Jabalisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV Whiskey 1 Good Vibrations at your service to talk a little bit about CW operation. CW standing for continuous waves, even though they're not continuous, they're intermittent waves. IW, Morse code. What's the best passband for a receiver when you want to operate CW? Well, I guess it varies from person to person and situation to situation. On my ICOM IC746 Pro, it allows for up to 3 different bandwidth selections, and I have set them at 500 Hz wide, 250 Hz wide, and 100 Hz wide. Most radios have a feature like that these days with their digital signal processing. The 500 Hz bandwidth, I hope I didn't say kilohertz bandwidth. I'm a little absent-minded today. The 500 Hz bandwidth is what I use normally. And you can hear some signals in there. It's a wide enough window to hear some signals and make it easy to find a station that you might want to call. But if there's a lot of interference or a lot of competing stations on the air at the same time, for example during a contest, or when you're DXing, if you find that station and there's other stations near it in frequency, you can narrow the passband down to 250 Hz, and if that's not enough, as long as you tune the signal in to the center of the passband, 100 Hz. I could, if I wanted to, have set it as narrow as 50 Hz. That radio goes in 50 Hz increments. You can set the passband to any 3 values at 50 Hertz increments from 50 Hertz all the way up to, I guess, about 2 or 3 kilohertz wide. But those are the 3 bandwidths that I prefer. I prefer a side tone pitch that measures out at 688 Hertz. I did that with a program on my computer that indicates received frequencies, and just put the side tone in there, and lo and behold, 688 Hertz, and that's about average. In most modern transceivers, the pitch of the side tone corresponds to the frequency of the station that you're listening to, so that if you want to zero beat a station, you can simply turn off the transmitter and make it so that you can send code with just the side tone, and then zero beat that side tone with the tone that comes in from the note that comes in from the station that you want to call. Then you know you're a zero beat with that station. And under normal circumstances, in casual rag chewing and things like that, you should zero beat the other station to minimize the amount of spectrum space that you use. But when you want to call a DX station, particularly if that station wants to hear you on a frequency that's 1 or 2 kilohertz higher than what he or she is transmitting on. But generally speaking, you do not ever want to zero beat that DX station. And if you think about it, you can probably figure out the reason. If you've ever heard the results of what happens when someone incessantly calls a DX station, zero beat with that station, you'll know exactly why you should never do that. Always make sure you offset by at least 300 or 400 Hertz, and preferably maybe even 500 or 700 or 800 Hertz from that DX station. But those are the bandwidths. Standard for CW is 400 or 500 Hertz, and the narrow bandwidths for zeroing in on a station and getting rid of interference, both human and natural, you can narrow down that bandwidth And in today's digital radios, they have a million different bandwidths you can select from if you want, and a million different features. So many of them that you practically got to be a programmer to figure out how to use the cotton picking thing. But it's worth it when you learn how. CW passband width. Find the one that's best for you. Maybe you like 350 or 300. Maybe you like 600 or even 650. Find the one that's best for you by experimentation with your own taste. Stangibelisco W1GV, signing off from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of... What's a word that starts with A and means thunder shower? Because we're having the first thunder shower of 2015 here in the holes. Until next time, 73, which means best regards in ham radio jargon, and so long.